In a world of remakes and remasters,
Are we playing for
what was once sacred and cool has now soured and become lame.
Red?
Gone are the days of Pogs and Cowabunga. Now is the reign of slurp juice and dabs. Kids these days don't even know how bad they've got it. Now it's up to the best generation to rise to the occasion and make a show that dares to go where a lot of other nerdy shows have already gone quite a bit. That's right. They're going to talk about it a lot.
Hello, everyone. Good night, and welcome to the show. This is Best Gen, where nerds complain about nerdy things, and we call it Best Gen because all of us on the panel, más o menos, are from the same generation, and we happen to think that it's the best one, better than all the rest. Not because we're better than you, but our movies certainly were. So strap on in. We're gonna wax nostalgic on the day. Yeah. Oh man, I messed up. Strap on in as we prepare to wax nostalgic on the days of yore, while simultaneously complaining about the utter filth that Hollywood is giving us today. Except it's a good week. I don't think for the first time in a long time, we don't have to talk about anything crappy. Mm-hmm. It'll be a short show tonight. We've all got things to do after this. I've got a lot of stuff to get ready. But there's a bit to talk about. We got House of the Dragon, and we know you don't want to be watching us all night. We know you want to go and watch the finale, which we'll talk about a week later, next week. So yeah, we'll keep this short. We got Mark Clark in the chat. Our inaugural, our channel member Prime. If you want to become a channel member, it's just 99 cents, and it helps feed my kids. It's pretty great. We got House of the Dragon, the penultimate episode to discuss, and we got some news. That's basically it. Also, there's a box behind me. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Does anyone know what's in the box? This is in the box, baby. My very own CD. 100 copies.
The vinyl.
100 copies of this baby.
Technically a CD. Wait.
Did
I
I say
almost
DVD?
wish that I had a CD player.
Look at this. Look at this. Well, you can buy it digitally. It's available digitally everywhere. I just got the notification that it went live on iHeartRadio yesterday.
Nice.
It's got a little.
Wow.
It's got
Is
a
it on
little
YouTube,
sleeve insert with all the lyrics, and it's glaring because it's such quality glossy paper that the camera is just having problems seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
But I worked freaking hard on this, and I'm taking these to Dragonsteel and selling them there. I think I don't know. I think after Dragonsteel, I might come up with a way of shipping them out if people want to buy them. But yeah, I got a whole stack of these babies, and I'm excited. Does it talk about fat pudding? There is a song that talks about fat puddings. They're really thin though. They're like digipacks.
I really like that fat pudding song. It was like really fun.
Yeah, you didn't finish telling me how good my album was. You said you
Yeah,
didn't like Babel, which is musically it's not my favorite song, but lyrically I think it's the best thing I've ever written.
Oh, I had to read the lyrics then because my Mexican brain doesn't process,
Look, okay, it's really clever. Look, there's a line because the whole thing is you get tongue tied, and when you talk to a woman, and so the language gets all mixed up, and so I'm going through all the languages that I'm messing up, And there's a line in there.
Ah,
There's a line in there. Look, my favorite line is we could be so much more than friends. And I'm not saying we twice. I'm saying yes in French. And then saying we could be more than friends.
we.
Very, very clever. Very clever.
It's really
Now I
good.
like it more. Now I like it more because I also struggle talking to the ladies because of my social anxiety. But I have been working on that. Like I've been trying to flirt with everyone, like with even like men and ladies. No, not flirting, but like like
Socialize,
talking
yeah.
fun, talking like jokingly, talking to people, and it has been helping.
I got these yesterday, and I haven't stopped looking at them. I think it turned out real good.
Let's go. Woo!
I think I need an arranged marriage, bro. Like because I'm not gonna find a wife.
It's
by my
platinum.
own mer- by my
It
own
is
means.
Dude, I
It
thought
is
that same thing.
very, very far from platinum. So
It took me a minute to find you. I had to look through your links on your thing to find you on Spotify. It might be something to mention in case anybody's not looking at the links.
there's
You're not
a link.
technically Mexican on Spotify.
No. It's the link's in the description. My band name
Right.
is Forget Tracy, not
Tracy.
technically Mexican.
No.
You always see it on YouTube because I had YouTube Premium.
Mhm.
So okay.
It's on YouTube Music. It's pretty much everywhere now. I think there's a couple places that still that take longer. But yeah, the last went live on iTunes last week, iHeartRadio this week. It's already on Spotify. It's on Apple Music. It's on Amazon Music. It's on iTunes. I don't know the difference between iTunes and Apple Music, but apparently there's a difference. I think one of them's streaming, one of them's purchasing. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've also been on hold with Apple support for like I think 13 hours now, cumulatively, trying to claim my Apple Music for Artists page, and I hate Apple. They are intentionally obtuse and they are intentionally incompatible with any other system. And so because I don't own an iPhone or a Mac, it like won't let me log in.
Yeah, that's frustrating.
Screw you. So
Wait, what's your name on Spotify then?
Forget Tracy.
Forget Tracy.
Forget.
There's a link in the description.
Yeah. It
this
takes you
video.
to the DistroKid link that'll get you there. That's how I was able to
And it
find
links to all the different places, so
Yep.
you can go to your preferred pronouns and buy it there, or listen to the streaming. So it's streaming,
Oh,
it's
you did with
purchasing.
DistroKid? Is DistroKid cool? Or?
That's so DistroKid is the publisher, not the publisher,
Yeah.
the distribution label. They are very cheap. The cheapest one I could find, because I was planning on making physical copies myself. But it's a pretty decent service, and like you can upgrade it. You can pay a little bit more for like more stuff that I will probably do eventually, but for right now I just don't need. But yeah, they've done a really good job, and they do it pretty fast. So.
Yeah.
Oh, he just bought
Like
it,
the
nice.
stuff went live on streaming, like on Spotify and Apple Music. That was live like within a week of me sending it to them, and then
Yeah,
the stores take a lot longer to approve. That's been like a month.
So
But
we got-
that's the case with any. That's not like DistroKid being slow. That's the third parties.
So we got 10 songs.
On that album, right?
14.
14. Spotify's weird that you can't see all the
Yeah.
songs on an album like easily unless you look at the album, and even then it's
Yeah, actually, I see it.
kind of frustrating. Spotify's weird like that. It's become a lot of the standard streaming music thing, but I mean, especially if you're not an Apple person, but I don't love Spotify.
I hate Spotify. You
The
know why I
physi-
hate Spotify? And it's such a random reason. Oh, that
The,
is
the physical printing I did through Atomic Disc,
Atomic Disc.
and they've been amazing. They were so fast.
Nice.
Like I bought these. I sent them my files a week ago.
That
Wow.
was really fast.
I
That's
sent
awesome.
Friday.
Did it within a week.
I sent them. Well, I bought the
Just
set
over a
on
week, yeah.
Friday and then sent in all my stuff, and then that was like late Friday, and so they didn't look at it till Monday morning, and they approved the design, sent me proofs and stuff late Monday, and started printing on Tuesday, and I got them on Saturday.
Nice.
Really cool company, and pretty good prices.
Very nice.
So-
Very nice.
Not sponsored, but if you want to, hey, I don't know if I'd bring you a lot of business of people making their own music, but they're cool.
Nice. I can't wait to listen to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I agree with Mark Clark. I hate Spotify as well.
Yeah, I think it's better than Apple, but I
Yeah,
really liked Amazon. Had some great music services, and then they switched away from that to do the streaming, and it sucks now.
Yeah.
You used to be able to.
I really liked Pandora and the way that it was set up to be able to do stuff for a long time, and I just don't do a lot of streaming, like listening to music and streaming in particular. So, yeah,
I just saw your private message and it made me laugh.
every time, especially on your videos, I just have to laugh. Anyway,
Apparently, I'm getting Kamala ads. So
Oh
that's
my
the thing.
God.
Everyone is literally the only video that I've watched in the last 3 weeks that hasn't had a Kamala ad was pulling you up this first time, and then of course I clicked away and came back to it, and there was the Kamala ad. So anyway, I just find it hilarious. I don't care one way or the other. It's just funny.
Mark Clark, 3D printing's fun. What kind did you get? Ender or something? But they're pretty easy. You just watch YouTube videos. It's pretty easy to figure them out.
There's probably an Indian guy saying how to use it.
Yeah, I just printed off some stuff for a friend. Getting ready for Dragon Scale. I had to print out a bunch of Dragon Scales for Blake and Raven Pen. They're going to be there too.
Nice. And my brother's got a 3D printer. It's like
For their dragon books, they made little I printed out dragon scales that they were painting and put on little necklaces,
Nice.
so you can get sorted into your dragon house. It's cheesy. Yeah.
Anybody ever do the Ninth Radiant quiz and get yourself sorted into a?
No, I'm not gay.
Yeah, bearded.
I'm still only about this.
Oh wait,
far
no,
into
I did.
four.
I had to do it because of the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah.
Well, I thought I had to, but then I was like, oh wait, this is obviously only
Right.
if you purchased like your kit. But I
Yeah.
did because they're like, hey, if you want to get your stuff, you need to fill out this questionnaire. So I'm like, fine, I'll do the questionnaire, and I got a bondsmith, which is pretty freaking cool. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I got an edge dancer, so. But if we're talking about sorting into houses,
I need a hair.
we're only about this far into Rhythm of War, but I finally decided to break down and be like, all right, I want to at least know what the quiz is supposed to say it's supposed to be. I don't really care, but
okay,
it's
so
not like one of those people who will do the Harry Potter sorting quiz and then be like, okay, I'm going to get all the Gryffindor stuff.
I have a Hufflepuff shirt because my wife wanted different shirts for everyone when we went to Harry Potter World, and I got stuck with Hufflepuff, and I don't care though. I like it. I don't really care
It's
about
fine.
Harry Potter.
It's a fun little whatever.
I loved reading them when I was a kid, but I think it's weird when adults are obsessed over it.
Yeah.
They were fun. They were good books, but wait
I
for
mean,
book 5.
Harry Potter
Yeah.
World's pretty fun though.
We're hey, Mark, you gotta read the chapters every week, and we'll be streaming with the Prophet of the Dragon. I won't be there this week, but I'm gonna try and make it every week.
That was going to be one of my questions, is if you were going to be keeping up on the released chapters. Cause
Yes, we already did a stream every Tuesday
every
on
Tuesday.
the Prophet of the Dragon's channel. If I'm here, I'll be there talking about some Stormlight
Wind and
Archive.
truth. Talking about some truth and some wind.
So some funny
Yes,
news.
Recommending me that.
Some funny news. I was making the thumbnail for this show, and I was taking off Robert Downey Jr.'s face because I sometimes like to pretend that other people are on the show that aren't. But then I got this news article. I was like, oh, I guess I got to leave him on. So, you want to see the weirdest take ever?
Sure.
All right.
So, well, there's. Let's. The people who are still excited about Marvel they're excited about Robert Downey Jr., right?
I count myself as in somebody that is generally excited about Marvel, and I'm only like, I'm cautiously optimistic, but not loving the idea.
Of course, anyone else who has a brain knows that this is a really stupid idea and that they're scraping the bottom of the barrel. Not that he couldn't give a good performance, but like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, because he's popular and Marvel is in the garbage right now, so they have to do something like bring back the Russo brothers and completely pivot on Kang.
Even most of the people who are kind of still excited or willing to give in for Marvel are completely aware of the fact that this is 100% a marketing tactic to try to be like, well, let's bring back a popular guy, you know.
Well, it might not work with the very crowd that they are trying to cater to, because
whitewashing. Whitewashing. I knew it. I was thinking it's probably gonna be whitewashing.
But it doesn't make sense.
Latveria was not a particularly ethnically oriented country. Like
it's Slavic, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Doctor Doom.
For sure,
okay,
but
Doctor Doom ethnicity. He's Romanian.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say Latveria is supposed to be the country.
That's white.
The fictional country, but it's supposed to be in the middle of like Romania.
It's Slavic. It's Slavic.
Hungary, yeah, Slavic. So
that's white.
Yeah, that's pretty darn white.
Yeah, it has some not Turkish, but like Arabic, but it's not. It's not.
Yeah, there might be a little bit more of that Middle Eastern influence, but not a ton.
No, not that much.
I haven't seen anyone on Twitter with this opinion though.
I have.
Yeah.
You have? Okay.
Yeah, because I don't know what happened to Twitter, but every single tweet that I get recommended is someone that is T word. I cannot say the word, but it's T word, or it's gay or black. Like Twitter think that I'm a gay black T word, literally.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I hate the algorithm in Twitter. It makes me so freaking angry.
But again, like you look at all the other depictions of Doctor Doom in any of the other. First of all, in any of the comics, you're probably still going to see him pretty white, and then all the other movies that he's ever been in. All the other Fantastic Fours, he's always been a white dude. Like,
right, but like he's the bad guy. Like I thought that's what you wanted.
Also,
I thought you wanted all the bad guys to be white.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Pedro was the bottom of the barrel. Yeah, and then they kept scraping through the wood. So.
Nah, for me, Pedro.
I'm not quite as against the Pedro Pascal casting, but I'm fine with it.
For me, Pedro Pascal is like the default. Like that's default. You know, when they are trying to look for something that's gonna sell, the default.
I won't deny that there's no there's nothing really particularly intriguing about Pedro Pascal being cast as Reed Richards. It's just kind of like, oh, okay, cool. Like I enjoy Pedro Pascal just fine. I think he will do a just fine job.
But I thought so whitewashing is bad, but Pedro Pascal washing is good.
Of course,
brown washing.
Of course, that's totally acceptable.
You can change the race of one character, but not the other.
Although he's white in Mexico, in whatever he's from.
You say that like you don't know that that's already the case and how they're going to believe Alan. Come on,
I'm being facetious.
I know you are, but I'm still saying like, come on now.
Is he Chilean?
He's some kind of Latin
South American,
American.
Might be.
He's the whitest South American I've seen in my life.
He's pretty pale.
Yeah.
He come riding a pale horse.
And he has been in America for hundreds of years, like for 20 years.
But least. I just love the tagline is like, this has led to fan outrage. I think it's just led to fan lukewarmness.
Yeah.
Like completely underwhelmed. No one's
exactly
passionate about this
because they know that the idea of outrage is going to draw attention, so they're going to pretend like there's bigger outrage than there is. There might be 5 people who have decided that this is a problem.
Yeah.
And so they're going to make it into a bigger deal. They're going to make a whole headline about it.
Questioning.
Talk about bad takes. This is forget Screen Rant. This is a bad take. Like, come on.
Yep. Bad take.
For like 6 different reasons too, but yeah.
But I did I did saw that opinion, and I did watch some. I did see some of the opinions, and I did watch some of the pictures of the comics.
Yeah.
And he's a little tan. Like he's white, but a little tan. And
Right.
they are
Robert Downey
really
Jr. is a little tan too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Shogun. Shogun news. We got a little update on season 2, and it gives me a lot of hope. I don't care about the rest of this, but if we want to get to the quote.
Hey, and you know what? Downey's father was 1/2 Lithuanian Jewish, so 1/4 Hungarian Jewish. So he's actually right in that.
Yeah,
area.
he's actually
Right.
Eastern European. Yeah.
Yep.
Where's the actual quote?
Shogun.
Do you think they were thinking about that when they did the casting? Like they were thinking, oh, this guy is actually Eastern European. They're not going to call us racist.
I doubt it, but if they were, they do actually have some reasoning behind it, and it lines up.
I don't doubt it because they are the kind of guys that will be like, oh, this guy is 1/4, Ashkenazi Jew or something like that. You know, like
Hungarian,
we'll be checking all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they updated this article. There was like a direct quote that was a lot longer than what's here now. But yeah, they're asking about season 2 because there is no more source material. Right? If they want, there are other books, but they take place in different time periods.
Mm-hmm.
So they wouldn't be able to use any of the sets, right?
Stuff, so they can kind of go off of history a little bit.
Right. So they're saying, yeah, there's no source material, and that kind of excites us. And they're like, it was really great to honor the books and to do that story. And now we don't have the book anymore, and we have a little bit more freedom. But this isn't the quote. He's saying, look, our writers are excited to have more freedom to do to try and tell a story without being so strict. But he also said, like, at the same time, like, we're absolutely going to try and honor the spirit of the book.
Yeah.
Which is that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it.
Yep.
It shouldn't be
have
that hard.
new characters.
That last quote there.
It's not.
It's probably the closest you get to that.
There was
quote.
literally another quote in here that has been removed.
But there's in that first one, they do indicate at the very least that they hope that they will enjoy the freedom and respect the novel, of course.
I read it this morning.
Yeah, that's wild.
Sanders assured fans that his original work would be honored in future seasons, even though there's no source material anymore.
Yeah, no.
It sounds good. I'm excited, cautious, but hey, it was really good. So they get the benefit of the doubt for me. This was really funny. Jamie Lee Curtis. We got to talk about her. She had an opinion last week, and then got in trouble for having an opinion, and had to publicly flagellate herself and apologize for saying, I don't think that the Marvel movies are very good anymore.
I mean,
she's factually right.
She didn't even say anything harsh.
Yeah.
She didn't even use the word stupid in her original quote. It was like, hey...
to see what her original quote was to see how bad it was that she felt like she needed to apologize. I suppose there's a degree of, like, you're a working actor, and so you don't want to piss off other people that you could go work for. But other than that, like, I don't... Unless she, like she'd have to have comments that were, like, 10 times worse than Martin Scorsese saying it's not cinema to have any reason to like need to apologize.
No, and she wasn't even saying all Marvel movies. She basically just said what Marvel itself has admitted with the Deadpool movie, saying, hey, these last couple ones haven't been that great. That's all she said.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of dumb. She felt the need to.
I mean, you know that the Marvel fans that are still like really like crazy Marvel fans are literally man-childs. Like, I literally
no, like it's because it's literally like wokeness is a religion. it has become a religion, and it's ingrained in it. It's in Marvel and Star Wars, and if you disagree, if you step 1 foot out of line, you have to repent, or you will be ostracized completely from their
I actually also wonder how much this might even do. The way she's talking about it too, where she's saying like, "Oh, I don't want to, be in the slinging sandbox or competition or whatever," and the the toilet paper promotion or whatever, where maybe she felt worried about like, hey, people grabbed onto this idea of saying that of me saying it wasn't great and like ran with it in a way that I didn't want, so I'm gonna apologize for it. Still, like, I'm just trying to like come up with some idea that makes some sense. That's like, I don't know.
How about you grow a spine? How about that?
I mean, she's probably wants a job in Marvel. Let's be honest.
That's kind of what I think.
Like, I
There's
reached out to
she doesn't
Kevin
want
Feige.
we could hire her.
It sounds like she wants a job in Marvel, and that's
Yep.
Maybe she saw the announcement that they're trying to course correct and make them good.
maybe she watched Deadpool.
Here's a bad. It's not really a take at all, but the Taika Waititi's remake of a classic 43-year-old fantasy movie is streaming right now, and you probably missed it.
Because it's on Apple
On-
TV+.
Time Bandits.
On purpose, because I saw the trailer and knew exactly what I was going to get. Go watch the original Time Bandits. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I didn't even know that they had a remake.
Yeah, they took out the midgets.
Ah,
So screw you, Taika Waititi.
oh
You're
my
a talentless
God,
hack.
bro. Like poor small people, poor little people. Like they don't get a break, bro. Like they cannot get jobs.
It's just the worst like combination of theoretically trying to be not
Offensive.
making fun of them, and then instead you just take them out of everything and they're gone. Yeah.
Yeah. The
There's
reviews,
no more.
even the
there's
critics.
No more little people, like actors. The last one I saw is literally that guy from Game of Thrones. I don't remember his name.
Yep. Well, he's
And,
killed it
Little
actually. In
Tico,
some
I
ways.
know
He's,
him.
And the
he's
girl from
tried to,
Friends.
like,
but
like I get not wanting to only have to have roles that are just elves and short people and stuff like that, but like, yeah. Anyway, I don't know.
seriously,
Yeah,
this has been like Taika Waititi has been one of the most like disappointing
Fall off. Yeah, one of the biggest fall offs.
fall offs for me personally. I still do. I love some of his earlier stuff.
Jojo
It's
Rabbit.
genuinely hilarious. Jojo Rabbit was his most recent one that was still good.
Yeah.
But he is funny. He's talented, and he's thrown it all away for Hollywood. Like he's he's literally sold his soul.
Most definitely. And
It's
he
so
casted himself?
disappointing. What?
He casted himself as well.
Oh, I mean, he does that. He's cast himself in almost every.
Yeah,
I know, but
he's God in the movie.
he's God. Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Go
Never
go
read
watch
the book,
go watch the Time
never
Bandits
read
that was
the
made by the Monty Python crew. Okay, it's better.
Mm.
Anyway, the yeah,
Do you want to talk about that? Like,
I want to talk about the people reacting to it.
Yeah.
These are the type of people that are cheering for it. I've never been hit so hard. You went right by a man.
yeah, allegedly, like,
Anyway,
I
like
don't
there's
even
like the comments from these people have been so
Yeah.
hateful.
but it's funny
disgusting.
because you see that the way these talk, these
Mm-hmm.
people have never fought in their freaking life.
Also
they have
this
never
week,
done
not in the
anything.
Olympics, but in a high school game, a girl just got paralyzed this week
Mm-hmm.
playing volleyball because of this.
Yeah, and the T individual was laughing about it, was
Yes.
giggling about it when he paralyzed the girl.
Mm.
Yeah.
Infuriating.
Well, didn't she end up apologizing too, or like?
Yep.
That's the crazy thing. I'm like, shoot, why are you apologizing?
Because
Yeah,
of
that's
the
dumb.
hate she received, obviously. Do you think like she's in France right now? Do you think
It
that
is
anywhere
public.
like
It's public flagellation.
yeah.
You have to publicly repent. It's the Game of Thrones scene. It's the shame, shame, shame. March through the streets and announce your sins.
Yeah. Like, do you think that she didn't got completely ostracized from the Olympic community? Like, do you think that she didn't get like the nasty looks from all of these French
Yeah.
liberals and all of these people? Like, all of
Like
these people
like
in
this,
the
yeah.
Olympics, yeah, exactly. All of the people in the Olympics are liberals. All of the athletes. Maybe there's like 3 athletes that are like open about their relationship with God and saying like this is for God, and it's mostly people from other countries, not from Western societies. Um, that's probably the reason why like she felt awful,
Yeah.
and she probably got wrongful information, say like no, she's a woman, you were wrong. No, like
She's
I
not.
mean, look, in
Um,
Mexico there's some ugly, some ugly woman. Okay, I was gonna say the H word, but
Mexico has some good-looking women, though.
I had yet
I
to
think
find
on average
one.
the women look a lot better than the men do.
Yeah, exactly. The women look way better than the men look. Like, um, and there are some ugly women that look like men. Like, I know when to recognize a woman that looks like a man, but it's still like,
But it's okay though. It's okay though because Russell T Davis said this week at Comic-Con that the most important thing about Doctor Who is trans rights.
oh my lord. Please,
You know, more important than making good Doctor Who.
man.
Yeah. But it's okay. The Babylon Bee has a great solution if you're worried about this kind of stuff with your kids. Sneaky parents dress up son as a girl on first day of school, so teachers will show him how to be a boy. That's a good one.
I get it. I get it.
We're done with the news, but I wanted to show this article that's not really super nerdy, but I thought it was hilarious. It was 10 emo bands that successfully rebranded into other genres to make it big, right? Paramore, I never really listened to. I guess they started off kind of vaguely emo and then moved into pop.
Yeah, they were definitely more kind of like.
I wouldn't call them emo. I'd call them punk, though.
Yeah.
That's a different thing. And they transitioned into pop. Fallout Boy, I would also call punk, not emo.
It's punky.
Yeah, you could even argue there's a little bit of like kind of emo theme.
Sure, there's
but I don't
emo
know if
influence.
you're-
I wouldn't ever call them an emo band.
Punk was
From their genesis,
alt rock anyway, so it's just
from
like,
their genesis, they were punk, alt rock, right? And they transitioned, and they've transitioned into poppier stuff.
you know,
I had studied Fall Out Boy a lot, and they were listened by the emos. Maybe they were not emo themselves, but they were listened by
that might
every
be.
emo.
Yeah,
Yeah, there was they
But
appealed
they
to the
did
same
switch.
audience, but they weren't emo.
They
yeah.
switched radically to punk, like on the 3rd album. So like they had like 2 albums. Like Sugar We're Going Down is like the 2nd album, and is like the most emo shit. Like, and then they transitioned to punk with the
I just-
3rd album.
I get some of the themes and concepts for their movie, but I just for their music, but like I just don't look at them and think, oh, they're emo. You know, they're
Because they're not.
Yeah,
Okay.
I see what you're saying, though, Mexican. Happy Mexican down there.
Yes, a lot of people who listened to emo also listened to Fall Out Boy. That doesn't make them emo. They had maybe a little emo influence. Okay,
Yeah.
but I put them in the
Also,
same category as Paramore.
It's
in
a
the
subtle
genre.
distinction too. Emo between punk and emo. Like it
Okay.
is a difference. There's definitely a difference, but
Okay, but guys, there's 10 more of these, and they don't get better. Okay,
Oh my god.
All Time Low. That was always pop. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was always pop.
That was never even punk. Okay,
Yeah, they're pop.
All Time Low has always been pop rock. Moving on. Jimmy Eat World.
that
They've
was
been
kinda
they've
emo.
been certainly punk. I
That was
think.
kind of emo in the start,
I
right?
guess a little emo. Yeah.
Not emo, a much better band.
Yeah.
Bearded is more punky.
Oh gosh. Wow. Even if that's more of a commentary
I'm
on
pretty
politics,
sure that's a
yeah,
compliment, man. I'm pretty sure you got to take that as a win.
I don't know. I'm not sure,
I
though.
would. I definitely would.
Oh man.
Even this, I like Jimmy Eat World. This is wrong. 30 Seconds to Mars. This is probably their best case. I still wouldn't call them
Not emo.
emo. They're emo-esque
It's-
in
yeah.
their first
It's soft
album.
metal, basically. Like
yeah.
there are songs that they have is basically metal.
Yeah, they were more like alternative, but this is probably the best case that they've made. But
Like,
even
The
then, they
Cure-
also haven't really transitioned that much. They're still basically the same band.
The only emo they have is the haircuts. That's the extent. Of
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
The eyeliner. That literally just quoting the appearance. It says the eyeliner and the black hair and the genre. Like
Right. Like Jared Leto was just gay. He's not.
Hope
That
Morton's
doesn't make
got
them
it.
emo.
Pulp Mortem's got it. This article thinks emo is a haircut.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
not. That was this was just everyone in the 90s. They all looked like this. It doesn't mean that they
2000.
were making emo
Early
music.
2000s, yeah.
No.
Not the 90s.
Yeah. I've never heard of Falling in Reverse actually,
No.
so I
Yeah.
can't
I've heard
weigh
of
in
them,
here.
but I haven't actually heard their music.
Yeah, I feel like I've heard the name once, but like I don't know
They
anything
look
about it.
darks.
But he's got the hair and the eyeshadow, so I guess that means
It
emo.
must be
But he
emo.
looks darks.
Yeah,
like,
he's
he's
probably-
not
yeah,
even
yeah.
emo. He's darks.
Okay, I don't know. Maybe that's a good stance. Coheed and Cambria is not emo.
They say themselves as prog rock.
They're prog rock.
Yeah, he says
They always have been, and also they've never changed their style
Yeah.
ever. They've always been prog.
They quote their first two albums like emo hardcore. No, they were just worsley produced. They still the same thing. It's just
They
like,
were just more grungy.
exactly like they were starting.
Yeah. I think the other thing, yeah, they're looking at this idea of like going from like indie and like starting out, you're grungier, you're a little less refined, whatever. And then as you get popular and big, you start to have more polish on your stuff. You get more produced, you get more well produced.
Exactly.
So that becomes less emo.
Okay,
I think that's our best other.
but number 3, and I accidentally scrolled down and spoiled it if you were paying attention,
No.
is the worst one. Okay? Like take a breath. Take a breath. For real, you are not prepared for this, okay? Are you ready for number 3?
No.
I know what it is and I'm still not ready, okay? Weezer.
I feel like they've gotten they've gotten closer to emo as they've gotten.
What the
Because apparently their second album, Pinkerton, was emo.
Maybe they have one emo song in the entire discography, and it's not even wouldn't be considered emo.
No, Mexa. I own Weezer's entire discography. They don't even have one emo song.
I mean, maybe some of them can be considered more
It's like
emo.
pop
Yeah,
rock.
like I said, I almost feel like some of their like the more I've heard of their older stuff, I'm like, oh yeah, this is much poppier. And then like you get into some of their more modern, their less old stuff. And it's like,
They
okay, there's a
think
little bit of
sad
emo
songs
influence
are
in this,
emo.
you know, like feels like they got more emo. Not that they're very emo to begin with, but
They think sad songs are emo, I guess.
yeah, that's the other thing. Sad songs. Yep, if it's a sad song, then they must be emo.
But like, this is just the worst. Like it's Weezer's one of my favorite bands. Okay, and I like emo music. They are not emo.
I've never heard a Wizard song that is not a cover. Never in my life, in my existence.
Their sweater got unraveled, and that's
Well, see,
sad.
that's the one I was kind of thinking about though. It's like it's kind of like depressing. It's kind of a depressing song.
It's like, okay, let's examine Pinkerton though. Okay, and I've listened. How many times have I listened to Pinkerton? Probably 36.
That's all.
I've let's see. El Scorcho. None of this is emo. It's punk. It's okay.
No, I also wonder. Like, I don't know.
I'd say
Maybe
generally,
like again, I'm not saying that ours is wrong, but like our perception of
Me
emo is
too.
going to be something way different than what they think their perception of emo is. Because I guess I'm thinking like some of the screamo-y kind of stuff, but like none of this has been anywhere close to that.
Yeah. Well, Panic at the Disco, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. The last two are actually good. Yes, Panic at the Disco started off emo and they went pop, and Micah Romance was emo, and they're still emo. They didn't change.
yeah.
So there's
They are
only
emo.
one good answer on this top 10 list.
I'm also surprised they didn't put Green Day on here because they were very punk and like punk bordering towards.
But
emo.
not emo.
Yeah. I mean, they again, like I said,
No,
punk bordering
no.
towards there, but
No.
very
No.
punk and coming out a little bit more poppy. But yeah,
There are other emo songs, bands like
wow.
Panic at the
Weird.
Disco, My Chemical Romance, and that's it. The problem is that many emo people were listening to all of these songs. Like the emo people will say, "Muse is emo." Like, oh no, no.
No, they're not. Look. Okay, so back to the Weezer thing. Pinkerton, the first song on the album is called Tired of Sex. And it's saying, I'm so handsome that I get it all the time and it's exhausting. That's not emo.
So emo. What are you talking? Oh my god.
Jesus Christ, that guy was swimming in Punani.
Yeah, Weezer's Green Day's not good.
No.
I really like Weezer
Yeah.
though. They're like my guilty pleasure. They're not the best band ever, but they're like one of my favorites, and I think they have the most quantity of songs that I like.
Weezer?
Weezer, I love Weezer, man.
Can you recommend me some Weezer song because I never
Like
heard.
like that. That's always my answer. Like, oh, if you were stuck on an island and you could only have one band to listen to for the rest of your life, like it's
Beatles.
Weezer for me. Not because I think they make the best music, but the sheer quantity of it that I could listen to forever. Like 100%.
I don't know how you didn't chose the Beatles after Rubber Soul.
I would take Weezer over the Beatles in a heartbeat. That's my personal preference.
You sound
I really. It's a little gay, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Weezer.
I don't know. It just really clicked with me. I love. I think Make Believe is just a beautiful album, and then Everything Will Be All Right in the End.
I like
is
30 Seconds to Mars.
Everything
Yeah, I
Will Be
love-
All Right in the End is probably aside from Third Eye Blind's self-titled album, my favorite album, like second favorite album of all time.
Mm-hmm.
So I love Everything Will Be All Right in the End.
Yeah, Mark Clark, I like 30 Seconds to Mars. I probably only know like 3 songs, but those are great songs.
I
Okay.
prefer you to listen to 30 Seconds to Mark, actually. But
30 Seconds to Mark. All right, that's
30 Seconds to Mars.
that's most of the news. This next one will transition us into House of the Dragon, and then we can talk about it.
Wait, we're having talk about Deadpool. I mean,
Oh yeah, sure. Talk about Deadpool, and then I'll bring
yeah. So besides Alan, who I know saw it and talked about it last week, and Jared, had you seen it or did you not? You hadn't even seen it. You still
No.
haven't seen it.
No,
So you've
probably
seen
not.
it though, right, Mexa? What did you think? What do you know?
I absolutely loved it. Like I had so much fun. And the thing is, I watched it on Spanish.
Oh,
Bro,
okay.
watch the Spanish dub if you want to like laugh.
Oh,
and
that actually
learn
sounds
something.
fun.
That would
Yeah.
be interesting. Yeah.
Actually good dub. Like when it comes to streaming and you can get the Spanish, Mexican, or like Latino dub, it's so culturally accurate that
Nice.
every Mexican is gonna have fun at that movie.
That's awesome.
Like,
That's cool.
it's one of the only movies that I've seen actual lines in years since the pandemic. Lines of people waiting for the movie, and
Sorry,
you
that's
know, full
hilarious.
theaters and all that. That's why it's making so much money. But yeah, the dub is really good. The voice acting was sublime from Deadpool in the voice acting. I haven't watched the English version. I heard that they said that with the word fuck like 70
Oh, yeah.
times, 150
Tons
times.
of it.
That
Oh,
doesn't
wow.
happen in the Spanish version like at all. Like they say multiple different groserías, multiple different.
Well, there is no F word equivalent in Spanish.
Yeah, there's like 6 different.
There's
things you
like
can say.
6 different ways you can say the
Yeah,
F word.
exactly.
Joder, things like that. Yeah, like
Yeah, but
Yeah.
joder y carajo, they are like Spanish from Spain.
Yeah.
They are not Mexican.
Right,
so
but
they
that's
use
the-
a lot of varieties. Like
that's the
probably you're not going to understand some of them,
No.
but trust me, like they are hilarious. Watch it with Spanish subtitles,
the,
probably.
the F word is very widely,
It's very
like
well.
it's
It's versatile. It's
in
versatile in English. It means 100 different
It's
things.
my favorite
almost
word.
almost
I
to
love it. I
to
love saying the F
a
word.
fault, you know. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Yeah.
but that's cool. That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really good.
So surprisingly, all things considered, I mostly agree with Tex-Mex, all the stuff that he was saying last week. So I'm with you again. My approach to it and feelings about it might be just a little bit softer than yours, but overall, a lot of the points that you made, I think, are great. Like, it's not in the MCU, so I don't know how it's supposed to save the MCU. It does. It's a movie that came out of
Right,
Marvel,
right. Wouldn't you expect this one to like? Weren't we all expecting it to end? Like it wasn't going to start in the MCU, but it was going to end there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you'd have thought that. Yeah, but again,
It
was-
doesn't even. It has nothing to do with the MCU at all.
It had the one scene in the MCU,
How it-
And this was supposed to be like
Yeah.
their movie that saves the MCU.
No.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
but to your point, like I think they kind of are aware of that and make that joke to the point of like him doing his whole Marvel Jesus sort of thing, and then like not, and then like trash talking Marvel the entire time, you know, in so many different ways. You know, you're joining a little bit of a low point, you know, like
Yeah,
It-
my opinion on that one is that for me, I grew up with Marvel. Like
Mhm.
most of the movies that I ever watched on theaters, like I didn't have that much chance growing up. There was not many theaters in my town. There was barely any screenings or anything. It was only Marvel movies and Disney Pixar movies.
Mhm.
So I will only watch freaking Catwoman and then Buzz Lightyear and all that crap.
yeah.
But yeah, that's what I grew up with.
Mhm.
So, and X-Men was like my top. I would watch X-Men every weekend when they put it on the Saturday special. They would put 1 or 2 movies. When they were the 3 movies, I would watch the 3 on a row. I absolutely adore every single X-Men movies until Wolverine.
I really-
when he goes to Japan.
Yeah.
I didn't like that much. It
I
looked cool,
thought
it
the
was cool.
Japan one's way better tthan X-Men Origins.
Yeah.
Wolverine.
No, like because I watched X-Men Origins like when I was like 10 years old.
Mm.
So for me, X-Men Origins, I was like, "Holy crap, this guy!"
Right.
And wow.
So
and,
you didn't know
when he
you,
goes
you
out the
didn't
water, I
notice
was
all
like,
the
"Holy
you didn't
moly,
notice the
holy."
horrible CGI.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I was
Well, that's another reason that you're going to have loved this movie, because it's such it is in many ways a love letter to the Fox Marvel universe and like a wrapping up of the Fox Marvel universe of all
Yeah.
those things
not
more
only
than
that,
anything else.
but bringing all of the characters back, like Blade, bringing Elektra. Bro, I used to love Elektra when I was when I was a kid.
I love the joke about we even lost Daredevil, and she's like, because it's Ben Affleck, who she was married to and is no longer married to, so she doesn't really care.
The Elektra movie was better than the
Bro,
Daredevil
I want
movie.
to be like
I haven't
that
seen
too.
either of them. I haven't seen a lot of those old ones. A lot of the ones before, like X-Men and Spider-Man. I haven't seen a lot of those.
Oh, I've seen them all.
used
I need to go back and watch them. I really
roll
want
my
to. I
eyes
did.
try to be there.
I did, and I can give a quick overview of it. I did also watch Logan for the first time in preparation for this, so I could actually, because I just never got around to it.
Yeah,
I've fallen off all
that's
the-
definitely one you should watch before this.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I did appreciate that they hung a lantern on the idea of like, how we said at the beginning we're not going to touch Logan's
Legacy.
legacy or whatever, and then there's like, but we actually are. We're going to completely ruin it. But at the same time, they didn't really take away from the legacy of Logan. Like Logan itself
Right.
as a story still is 100% a great story.
Okay.
It didn't undermine the story.
Am I wrong though? That scene, the concept of the opening scene of Deadpool and Wolverine, it was funny and handled well. We're not gonna honor. We're gonna dig up his corpse. It was a funny joke that went on for way too long.
Yeah.
It was the same joke for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm done with the joke. Like, you're not adding anything new until the very end when he put on the claws, and it was like, okay, that was cool. But it was like 10 minutes of him dancing to NSYNC or Backstreet, NSYNC, and just.
I didn't mind it. So you're right. It went on long. It was more than it needed to be, except that it was the opening credits montage thing. So they had to have it,
but the opening credits of the other two were way better.
Yeah, that's fair. But so I didn't mind it. You're not wrong, but I definitely didn't mind it. I still had fun with it, and it was fun watching him dance to NSYNC and be like, hey, this is kind of cool and kind of fun. And he's definitely doing the full.
I knew that he was not the guy that he was not Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
I knew that he was not Ryan Reynolds.
I was wondering about them. Like they do have, I think, in the credits they credit a dancing Daredevil or dancing Deadpool,
I watched the
which I don't think was one of the League of Deadpools. I think it's the one that was dancing for him. I
watched the TikTok from the guy that was training to do that, like the guy that got the role.
Yeah, he's kind of getting a lot of clicks on TikTok right now.
Okay. Yeah.
He showed the process. I mean, he's a cool guy. He deserves that thing, and he was really happy about getting that. Like the entire marketing, the entire not the marketing, but like the commentary from the director and Ryan Reynolds himself. Like he has been really active on Twitter.
Oh yeah, he's a freaking marketing genius in and of himself.
He's such a nice, like I genuinely think that he's a nice guy IRL because of the way he speaks about the movie.
I noticed there was one thing where I just saw a clip of like an interview where Ryan was saying, I was surprised at all the things that Disney was fine with us just making fun of them for. And then he also says, I was actually really surprised. There was one joke that I made at Hugh's expense, and I'm surprised he let me do it, because it was the dig about he let himself go since the divorce that literally happened less than a year ago. And he made a joke about Hugh Jackman's divorce. Like,
he's such a trooper.
Yeah,
he's a trooper, literally.
Yeah.
Mark Clark is out here making really bold takes.
Right.
You're not watching in the right
the
way.
Thing that I'll say that I like
a bad movie.
Referencing the ideas that you were talking about from last episode, I left a comment in the bottom just to, like, you mentioned like it doesn't make sense him being in the MCU, and again it raises weird it only answers and only highlights
because they made it a plot point later. Yeah. Like, and I probably missed.
Yeah,
I saw that you said that he used the time travel device to do that at the beginning. I didn't hear that.
It's when he shows up in the TVA and he's talking to Paradox and he's like, "Oh, does this have to do with the things that I did with
right?" But that was at the end of Deadpool 2, not the Kevin Feige cameo. That was a different thing.
So, wait, what Kevin Feige cameo? There was no.
Not Kevin Feige. Sorry, Happy. Whatever.
Oh, Happy. Well, yeah, because so he uses. So in the end of Deadpool 2, he uses it and he's hopping around and cleaning up the timelines or whatever, killing himself before he does Green Lantern and all that. And then at the beginning of this movie, you see him in the 616 apparently or whatever, talking to Happy, and then
but that's jumping
years later. He's back in his universe,
though.
And then he gets pulled in.
I didn't see. My point is, I didn't see anywhere in the movie where it said that he got there by using the time travel thing, because that's a time travel thing, not a multiverse thing.
Right. Well, so again, the thing is, it's a time travel thing, so it shouldn't be able to do multiverse things. Except that if you look at Deadpool 2, he was using the time travel device to go to the universe where he was the weird looking Deadpool, and the universe where he kills Ryan Reynolds before he takes.
But that's the same universe. That's the same universe, though.
Not necessarily. Why would his universe?
Because Deadpool takes place in the Fox universe. It's the same universe.
Not the Green Lantern one. Not the one where Ryan Reynolds is reading the script for Green Lantern.
Sure.
So again, does it actually make it make sense? No. But is it consistent with how they treated it? Yeah.
Okay. It's just, I'll give you that.
So, I realize that was a nitpick to begin with, but it's like, okay, they just are consistent with the fact that the whole timelines versus universes thing doesn't really make a ton of sense. So
Oh no, the movie was completely brain dead. Like the brain rotted. Like the
Yeah,
movie
yeah.
was just fun. Like the movie was just jokes.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
literally, the movie
the big
was
other thing that I thought though
absolute
was Cavalry
brain rot.
was freaking sweet.
Cavalry was great.
awesome. Like somebody else pointed out something that was a really good point. So people for a long time have for a long time people have gotten over it, but like at the very beginning when Hugh Jackman was cast, they were like, he's too tall to be Wolverine, and people were mad about that, right? And so of course they make the joke about the short Wolverine, which I think they overemphasized him being short, so that wasn't really comic accurate, but it was certainly like closer. But then somebody else pointed out that like you look at Henry Cavill as Wolverine, and he is so big that it looks like he's got the right proportions to be Wolverine, even though he is taller than Hugh Jackman.
Right.
But like he looks even more appropriate to being a Wolverine.
You already know.
Big Hulk, like just.
You already know
Dude.
Cavill had something to do with that. You already know he's like so, like, he has such a loyalty to source material
Yeah.
that he was the last Wolverine that we had seen with a cigar. When
Yeah,
was the last
yeah.
time you saw a Wolverine with a cigar?
You do see it in a
Excellent.
couple of like little one-shot things, like in I think it's Days of Future Past or one of those ones where they go and try to get him at the bar. But
Oh, yeah,
you don't see
you're
him
right.
with the cigar very much. That's also probably more because they generally had him in PG-13 rated movies that they wanted to not promote
It's smoking.
smoking. But yeah, no, that's awesome that he was one of the few that got that has the cigar, because you're right.
Yeah.
He's
It was
definitely
the
going
last
to
one
be
probably because
stickler for that. Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I really liked it. I enjoyed a lot of it. It was very thin. The kind of humor isn't. Most of the kind of humor isn't my favorite kind of humor, but
Yeah,
like
same.
the crass stuff isn't necessarily my favorite stuff. The swearing is I agree with you. Certainly a crutch that they'll lean on. I will say though, the reference humor is stuff that I love, and he does a lot of that.
Yeah,
like,
it's good.
I did love the like. Oh, I too can gently graze the fourth wall. The proposal. I thought that was hilarious. I found that one absolutely hilarious, and I
you have to watch.
really got gotten by the flame on. Oh, he's gonna say it. He's gonna say it. Flame on. Oh, there we go.
That was
If
the
you
best
like
part.
the humor.
The
You have to
jokes
watch
that
the Mexican
Gambit being
version.
just having a
It's
terrible French
way
accent.
better because it doesn't rely so much on swearing.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
it's like the swearing is Mexican swearing, so it's basically non-existent. Like we Mexicans swear for everything. Like
yeah,
we
that's a
swear
good point. Yeah,
for
yeah.
everything. So
It certainly
it's
leans
like-
on it. It's not the only joke, but this one it definitely leans on it pretty hard. But yeah,
yeah,
there
I
was
was
some-
watching all the clips, and it's like, I don't know if I to be honest, I don't know if I would have liked it in English. Not gonna lie,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
hate,
Maybe not.
I absolutely hate, despise watching movies in dub.
Mhm.
I hate watching movies especially when they are English
yeah.
speaking movies because the dialogues are so good most of the
Yeah.
time, and they don't know how to translate it. But
Yeah.
this one, it was perfectly done.
That's
Like, I
really
had
cool
no-
to hear. I also do wish they hadn't spoiled the idea that X-23 was going to be in it, because it would have been a lot cooler to have. And they even play it in the movie, like, look at this thing that you're not going to know is going to come, but because they showed it in the trailers, I'm
I
like,
kind of disagree. I think that was a marketing tactic to get more people in the theater.
it was a
because-
marketing tactic to get more people.
Well, because
and I think it
the-
helped a little bit, but I don't think it
because
helped as
the
much
reason
as
why is because it happens at the exact same time as all the other cameos get dumped on you.
Yeah.
So like just one more, like okay, we're gonna spoil one of these so that the other three don't get spoiled.
But that's fair enough, but also I would say that's the most impactful, and they also play it in the movie as the most impactful cameo is her, because she's the one that has the emotional connection and the emotional core and all that. So I get the idea that it's a marketing ploy and that it did probably bring some more people in. And I'm not going to say it was like
Yeah,
like a dumb idea and completely.
It
useless.
wasn't targeted at us, dude.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You're right. That being said, I still doubt that there's a lot of people who loved Logan that aren't already in this circle. That that were grabbed by that weren't already in this circle. That weren't already in for Wolverine and Deadpool. Sure, you know.
I absolutely love watch. Like I'm not gonna
But-
lie. I don't like the girl because she's kind of crazy. IRL, she's like a woke liberal
Alright.
crazy.
That's why.
But,
That's
yeah,
why it
yeah,
checked some
but-
boxes for people who not for Logan fans, but for
people who
those
just like
people
her
who are
as a
like,
person,
yeah.
otherwise.
Hey,
But
let's
I
pull in.
actually
That's fair, I guess. But
like her and Logan. Yeah.
regardless of the fact that it may have been a smart move for them for their marketing stuff, I still wish they hadn't, because it really would have been a lot more impactful in the movie for that. And again, like I said, in the movie they play up that reveal, because they wake up, the cameos start popping in, you get Blade, you get Elektra, and then they're like, oh, but there's one more, and then she comes, like, it's played as a bigger reveal
Yeah,
that
that they
was
spoiled
given
the
away in the
footage.
trailer. I won't say it's spoiled in the trailer because again, they're making it out, they're putting it out themselves, but they gave it away in the trailer, and I think it was, even if it did improve some of their marketing a little bit, I would be really surprised to see how much it improved.
I think it's absolutely fair to call it a spoiler.
That's right.
Talking spoilers, did you see the trailers for Gladiator 2? We talked about how they literally spoil a character death in that. The trailer is awful. Like to take the black hip hop music.
I hate it. I hate it.
Even take that out. Just talking about like the composition of the trailer and how much of the story it tells you is like, I hate that trend of modern trailers giving you the entire plot of the movie. They literally show you a character death that is supposed to be, I assume, like a pivotal point in the movie, and then they edited it out.
Oh, really?
Yes. There's a scene where he's holding his lady friend in the water and she's got an arrow in her chest. They keep that scene and they edited out the arrow. I just watched the trailer again. It's gone.
Wow. Yeah.
It's too late, though. Yeah. We know she's dead.
Like I will say, like I can see what you're saying, and it's difficult because everyone treats spoilers differently or whatever. The reason that I would say like, oh, I guess it's not a spoiler is if they're releasing it themselves, it can be a spoiler. You can have spoiled your own movie, but if they're releasing it themselves, then
but you just said that it spoiled the movie for you.
It absolutely. Well, and I wouldn't even say
you said it would have been better if you didn't know.
It would have been better without it. Yeah,
that's a spoiler.
I agree. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So again, it's semantics at that point. The difference between whether it would have been better if they hadn't shown it versus a spoiler versus whatever you want to call it otherwise. But yeah, I agree with you. I do wish that they hadn't.
Yeah, the intentionality doesn't change the fact that they shot themselves in the foot.
The things that I will,
but I did it on purpose, guys.
Well, that if they're spoiling it, it's one thing versus somebody leaking something and spoiling it for them is the bigger problem.
Yeah. That's called a leak.
Yeah. So those are the distinctions that I'm making with that. But it doesn't, like I said, it's semantics at that point, whether it's what you want to call it. But yeah, I do wish that they hadn't decided to spoil it, decided to put that out there because
in my opinion, the movie still had a lot of surprises. So it still,
it didn't have as many surprises as I expected based on the way they were talking about. Like, oh, we don't want to spoil anything, so we can't show you very much. Like, they did show a very little bit of the movie. Like, there was a very small amount of that was out, but it's still, like you said, it was kind of a paper thin movie, so there wasn't a lot to spoil anyway. Like we had figured out a good chunk of what was going on. There was certainly some specifics that were a little different than what we would have thought. But yeah, I still had a lot of fun with it. Still lots of laughed at a good handful of different things that I'm trying to remember exactly what other moments there were, but there were a lot of other moments where I got some good. Right.
I want to know. I want to know a very specific because I have some criticisms of the action choreography specifically.
Right. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember
there's stuff that's done done really well. The inside the car fight scene is phenomenal.
Yeah.
The fight scene before that is I'm trying. There were a couple fights before that. And they were all kind of pointless, and I can't distinguish them in my brain because none of them were memorable. It was a lot of just punching and stabbing and invincible people, which is exactly what the car fight scene was. Like, we get that this is a pointless fight scene, but it was choreographed really well. It was part of the comedy, so that was done well. But my biggest problem, it felt like a step down. It felt just very generic. It's the same problem that I had with Spider-Man: No Way Home.
I remember that. Yeah.
The action. Do you remember any? You know that fight scenes happened. You don't remember any of them though, because they're it's generic Marvel fight scenes.
Yeah.
I remember one single one, and it's the one with Green Goblin, but because that was really good.
But now think about Tobey Maguire Spider-Man trilogy. You can without even seeing those movies in 10 years, you remember those fight scenes. I can remember the choreography of those fight scenes because they're so good.
Yeah, especially the ones with Dr. Ock. I remember every single fight with Dr. Ock. Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember this stuff.
a lot of the, like, even those other ones where you're talking about how you remember those fight scenes and they stand out to you, it's not the sort of thing that sticks in my mind quite that way for me in those other ones, even when they are as good. I can recognize a little of the differences and quality of that. So that's why it didn't bother me as much that they're
but compare them to Deadpool 1 and 2, where there are some really, really good choreographed fight scenes where, like, you can tell Disney took a hold of this, and they don't do action very well. It's really bland.
Back or side by side, I wouldn't necessarily be able to feel like I can compare them and feel like these are a lot worse.
It's really just
bother me. But I
bland, generic fighting that's not. It doesn't cater to the director or the cinematography at all. And the prime example is the old boy fight scene at the end of Deadpool and Wolverine. Do you know what that is? The static, the hallway fight scene. Okay. In Old Boy, it's in a hallway. It's not like the Deadpool. It's not like the Daredevil TV show hallway fight scene that's very dynamic and moving around. It's a static camera looking at a looking at a side scroller hallway fight scene, and it's claustrophobic. It's probably one of the greatest fight scenes of all time.
It's the best.
He's got a hammer, and he's getting pushed back. It's one guy versus a mob of people, and he pushes forward and pushes back.
Well, there might be something similar. It's a
brutal claustrophobic fight scene, and it's been done in movies, paying homage to the old boy fight scene, and they did that in this when they fight the horde of Deadpools, and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's not that good.
It's not a hallway. It's an so there's no reason for the claustrophobia.
It's a
and it's two people, so you can't pay attention to what's happening. It works in Old Boy because it's one person, and he's colored differently, fighting a mob of faceless goons. You don't remember any of the people, but you see his struggle and his journey through. Like, it's a brilliant cinematography.
It really was one of those
getting
things.
pushed and getting through. Like it's basically the side-scrolling version of the opening fight in RRR. Yeah. Like, that's the first time I saw that, and I was like, wow, this is the same thing, but 3D. Like, RRR is so good, okay?
I gotta watch it again.
I'm gonna go watch it again. It's so freaking. But the mob fight scene in that, in Deadpool and Wolverine, you can't track any of the action.
Well, you can track. So that's the thing. I lost track of our Deadpool in that one, but I was able to focus on Wolverine through most of that one. And so you can kind of do that, which you could say undercuts their point of these two against the Horde, because you only get to focus on the one, and even then, not a ton. But the other thing that I think, at least for me, that again doesn't change the fact that it's not a particularly well done thing, but that made me still enjoy that scene was that's also the scene where you get your Stan Lee cameo, because it's Stan Lee Steamers and it's him, and he's in an ad on the bus there.
Oh, I didn't notice that because there was so much going on. I couldn't pay attention to any of it.
It made the scene still overall an enjoyable experience for me, but I agree that those parts of the scene didn't necessarily add too much to it, because you lose track of what all is going on. The other thing that for me was going on in my head was the idea of, like, wait a second, I know we just had our nice pool that didn't regenerate, but now you're assuming that none of the rest of them regenerate. What's going on? Why are we assuming that we're taking them down? And then, of course, they do bring it back around. We're like, duh, we all regenerate. Why did you think you took us down in that fight? That distracted me a little bit from how good or bad the fight itself was.
It's like sensory overload is how I describe it. Like it's just so much that none of it means anything. And it's like when I lived in Mexico for 2 years, and then I came back to the United States, and I went to a Walmart for the first time in 2 years, and I literally had a panic attack. I was like, there's too much. Like, I'm used to walking into a store that's the size of a shoebox on the corner of the street and picking up 3 things and leaving, right? Like, that's what this felt like for me. Like, it made me sick.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Bro, I want to go to the United States and
I gotta take you to a Walmart, man.
Yeah. I do probably got to get going really soon here. So I don't know if we have anything more we want to talk about Deadpool and Wolverine.
No. I wanted to ask you guys, what do you think about the
I completely agree. Like the first 2 years,
Sorry, what were you
I
saying?
want to ask you about what do you think about the music in Devil in Wolverine? Because when I first read the list of songs, I was like, oh my god, another
It
one.
was just one song the whole time.
Yeah, it had a good handful of songs in there. I was one of those kids that really liked listening to Avril Lavigne. So that Avril Lavigne song before when
Yeah.
the band was really cool. And Sync was of course my time period in a lot of ways.
I like the use of like a prayer.
Yeah.
Because if they used something else in that scene, it would have been too much for me. Like I understand that it was censored like too much
Sensory overload for it, yeah.
senses, but that song was like okay, at least it's like calm, like that. That's like it's like push it down a little bit, but still, it's not that the best
Yeah.
scene of the movie. The best scene of the movie, like you said, is the car fight and in the car acting scene. I didn't think it was like so like everyone.
Yeah, it
is,
didn't
like,
stand
crazy.
out to me as being amazing any more so than the other ones. But I see what you're saying with some of it being better choreographed. But
Yeah, and the final fight when everyone Blade and all and Gambit and all of that, that was not
No.
that was not good at all.
it was
Not
okay.
at all.
I've seen.
I
Mexico
only
ones, the
remember
ones that are harder
one
to
shot.
follow, but
The one with
Yeah.
Gambit, right? When he
Yeah,
throws the
when
card,
he pulls out the
Gambit was
deck,
very good.
that was the only shot that was like,
That
oh,
was
that's a
the
memorable thing.
cards
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he blows
I-
them up. That was really good. That
And
was
Mexa
really
knew
good.
exactly which one I was talking about because it was the only part of that that was good.
There was a shot or two with Blade that was memorable, like Blade interacting with Gambit. There was one that did that that was cool. Of course, they highlight the one where X-23 takes out the Juggernaut at his ankle. So of course they highlight that one. So that
Yeah, but it
one-
wasn't good. It was
No,
just-
that was not that.
Well, I'm not saying it was good, but it was memorable. So
I
but it
mean,
was fine.
I like X-23. Like
Yeah.
I am a fan of her character, so I'm like rooting for her. But yeah, it was not that good.
Yeah, no, I didn't mind it. It was
It was
fine.
impressive though. It was impressive, to
Yeah.
see her like go
But-
Wolverine.
Yeah,
Johnny Storm cameo was probably my favorite part. It was
That
What's
was
so
a really good part.
funny-
Because they not only, of course, because
And-
they
and
like subtly play
the-
some of the Avengers music, and then of course he's saying, "Oh, it's Captain," and he's just the most hero ever, or whatever. But that first little shot when you see his arm, there's actually some red on his arm as well. So you've got, of course, his blue and his red, and so you see him, and so like that adds to all of your like thinking he must be. Although I was kind of confused as to like, okay, we're hearing his voice. Why are we not seeing his face? Why, like at this point we have heard his voice. Why are they still teasing us about not seeing his face? I didn't pick up on it at the time, but then when you do get his face, it looks a little different. You're like, it's because they de-aged him because they're trying to make him look more like Johnny Storm from Fantastic Four. So that's the reason they kept him hidden. I didn't pick up on it at the time, but somebody else has pointed out that like as soon as you saw his face, you might have started to get a clue that it wasn't supposed to be Captain America if you weren't already clued in. But like, yeah, that's why they hid his face longer, because that definitely threw me off. I'm like, okay, we've heard him. We know what you're talking about. Why are you still hiding his face? You're making it like it's going to be not him.
I'm not gonna lie. When he was like hidden and a little bit, like, when it was like kind of weird for a second,
Yeah.
and it was like, a little confusion. I was like, "Oh man, I hope he's Johnny Storm." And then
Oh,
he's
yeah?
Johnny Storm, and then he's like
Yeah.
Flemo, and I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah. That was pretty cool. I did enjoy the flame out.
as well here in Mexico,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
Fantastic Four was really big in Mexico. Like everybody loved everyone loved Johnny
Yeah,
Storm
And
specifically.
I've heard that there's not a lot. There's a lot of people who don't like it, and I guess I get it. But like, I always enjoyed them just fine. Maybe they weren't amazing, but they were.
I really liked the second one. I think the
Yeah.
second one's really good. I wish Galactus wasn't a space fart cloud,
Yeah.
but I love the Silver
Comic
Surfer.
accurate like that.
Yeah.
He's supposed to be a far space cloud that eats planets.
There's some good.
Well,
there's some good.
He's
good
a
fights in
celestial
there.
that eats planets. Like he's a big being that eats planets, not a fart cloud that eats planets.
Yeah,
No,
he's supposed to.
I'm sure that I've seen him as
Dude.
a far cloud. Maybe he's not.
Yeah,
always
because
a far cloud.
because that's how he's been depicted, but it's not supposed to be.
I
He's
think in, like,
supposed to be
before
just
that,
a
he was,
big
like, an
guy.
actual physical being looking thing, celestial looking humanoid thing that
Yeah.
ate the planets.
I mean, I heard from a lot of nerdy people in Twitter that are nerdier than me saying that I hope that Galactus is a big far cloud. as he is in
Really?
the comic. But
Mm.
I wonder if there's some
They might be
sarcasm
trolling.
because I generally hear people thinking that that was not a good idea.
yeah, it's weird. I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe the people in Twitter, it's like they always are
Yeah.
flip flopping.
Like I said, I do got to get going real soon
Okay.
here, but I do want to say
Me
I
too.
highlighted it in a comment on last week's video. I freaking loved from Game of Thrones or from House of the Dragon, Oscar Tully just dominating Damon with the
Yeah.
with the, like, yeah, I don't like him, but we're just gonna have to like just beautifully, perfectly done, and how he like.
It was a good scene.
Again, as just this kid who just took over, like actually uniting all these people and realizing what it takes to do that, and still trash talking Damon. Oh, it was so good. And forcing Damon's hand to be like, "You're going to do what I want you to do because I know you need me," but doing it in a way that didn't overtly piss off Damon either. It was really, really brilliant.
Yeah, he was really treading the line of like, hey, I'm gonna push this as far as I can go.
And so beautifully. Oh, and the kid acted it pretty darn freaking well too. You could tell he's still like a kid, a little awkward, but he's been
good.
instilled with some good leadership, like understanding. So that was beautiful. I will say this last week's episode, the bit with Rhaenyra and Meleys, or no, not Meleys, the
Missaria.
Massaria,
The White Snake.
was completely out of the blue. Even people who I know of who are like pro that were like, that kind of came out of nowhere. Even me, where I'm like, you know what, fine, that's what you're gonna do. It felt so out of the blue. You could get there. I could see them. I was sure they were gonna get to that point. But getting to that point right then was like, what?
Yeah, and even that choice actually kind of explains something that happens later in the books that didn't make sense to me before. Like, why would this character do this? And you're like, oh, this gives them a reason to
get to
but yeah, it comes out of nowhere.
It was very,
and also Missaria is just not a very good character. Like, she hasn't earned any of her. She hasn't earned anything. She doesn't have development. She's just
where she's been in the story up until now. I've mostly been fine with, because they've laid groundwork for like that. She's been this like master of secrets kind of thing before, and she's been able to lay that.
But compare her to literally any other character on the show. Like, the writers have a blind spot for this character. They really like her, and so they're making her girl power, girl boss. Yeah, and none of it's earned.
That's the thing. Right now, for me, they're towing the line where they're just like pushing right up for the most part. Again, that one just pushed a little bit, but like overall, her role of girl bossing it in there or whatever has just towing the line where I'm like, okay, I can believe it for the most part. I've also, as I watched their like ending stuff, as they talk a lot about how they're like, look at how we're highlighting the difference between how men approach war versus how women approach war, and I do think that is in the story that is there. But I do think they're leaning on it pretty hard in a couple of ways that it's really great. One of the things that you'll see with that, like Brandon talks about, or other good authors will talk about, how to not make things a monolith, is you can still have things be, this is what it generally is, and then you show characters that don't fit that. I do wish that they would show a couple other characters that don't necessarily fit the like this narrative of like the men are just aggressive and the women are trying to be a little bit more measured. And they flirt with that idea, but they don't. They miss it a couple of times on that with me.
That's what Rhaenyra is supposed to be, but they've really dialed her back this season.
I was going to say she has some of those things pop in there. Even Rhaenys had a couple of those things where she was the one that went out and did the war thing, even though she was the one saying, calling for the rain back. It's
the women. All of the problems with inconsistencies are all with the female characters, right? It's Missaria, it's Rhaenys, where they're like, okay, these writers, they're doing a good job, but they also have a blind spot, and they don't realize the mistakes they're making.
No, I will say, looking at the preview for last week, of Jace, who had said he wanted to get the non-Targaryen, Targaryen named people involved in dragon riding, but then being mad when she brings in other non-Targaryens.
That's not what he said.
Well, that's the thing. Looking at the preview, I was like, wait a second, what? But then watching the episode, you're like,
so good.
Yeah,
it's like,
you're absolutely right. Now I get why you're upset
Did you not think that I would have brown hair, you idiot? And now you're taking away the one thing that I have left?
Tell me, too, that you didn't think, when he said, did you not think that I would have brown hair, that he there was a little bit of that commentary again with the idea that there's that race swap in there. Like, did you not think that I would have brown skin? That's an
I'm supposed to be black.
But I just thought that was like an interesting.
I could have had an N-word pass.
I will also say that that one of the commentaries you made about last week, how Alan is the fact that Silverwing chose, or whoever chose Alan, is not because such and such is dead, but because he thinks that they're connected because of that.
If you take book canon seriously, it means he's dead.
Right. No, and I understand. Like I understand. My point is that
I think it's a retcon.
I don't think that this necessarily guarantees he's dead. I also don't necessarily think it guarantees he's alive either. Like, there was something that you were saying last week that was like, oh, I think this means he is alive, and this is why it happened. I like that as a probable explanation to not break the book canon.
Yeah, George has explicitly said that you cannot rebond unless the writer is dead. So if you take that seriously, he's dead. But I think they're retconning it and saying, oh, the reason why because that's the only dragon that has actively went and sought out a bond is because he's still alive. And so he's finding he sees this one and sees a connection to they share a lot of the same blood. They look similar, and because he's still alive, he has to bond with someone similar.
See, and for me, it's more of to me, if they're going to be retconning it from what the book says to this idea of
it's George R. R. Martin said. Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily means that he's dead or alive. It just means he has gone off and to a certain degree broken our bond, whether he's dead or alive. But because I've had this bond, I want to go seek out one that might look like him or might have a connection to him. At least that's how I would interpret it.
Right, but the other dragons had riders that have died.
Yeah.
And they have to be claimed. They're not seeking out bonds.
They're not seeking out. Yeah.
I think it's pretty clear what they're saying.
The ways that you're approaching that are like, that's a really cool way to look at it. So, who knows what their actual intention and how they're going to roll with it? But I like that idea. I like that in general. So, anyway, all right. I'm already an hour past what I said that I was going to do for this, so I'm going to get out of here.
Before you go, this will make you laugh.
Yep.
The House of the Dragon actor admits that The Hunger Games is the only book he's ever read his entire life.
Me too.
And it perfectly fits his character.
Yeah. I mean...
guys, I had to admit too, like, the only two books that I read in my entire life is Twilight and Hunger Games. I mean, the entire series, obviously. And like half of the Harry Potter books, and that's it. I retire from reading after that. I should be reading more, but I didn't like reading in Spanish because I knew that the translations were not good. So I tried to read them books in English, and I couldn't understand what the heck what they were saying. But back then, when I was a kid, when I used to like reading, now I don't like it because I'm lazy.
All right, get out of here, Bearded.
I think he's doing a lot of great stuff. I actually really do like his storyline, and he's doing some great stuff. But yeah, that's kind of like, wait, what?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you guys have a good week. We'll plan on being here next week. And I saw we're looking at maybe doing some dark matter or something else like that.
Yeah, you guys got my email.
I got the email. Okay. So text me or email me some more if you have any particular ones. I'll try to keep an eye on the spreadsheet too.
Dark Matter's the only one that we should watch. You know, if you want. Obviously you can.
Yeah, and no guarantees. We'll see what I can get to, but I'll at least know what we're intending to talk about, and that'll be good. So.
We just have 2 off weeks, so we gotta fill it with something.
Oh, I can use the Apple. I'm gonna use it like late at night, so I don't.
Well, you can have 6 screens at a time with Apple.
Oh,
so
there you go.
Oh!
All right, see you guys.
What? Are we sharing an account? No.
I can finally don't have to use my ex-girlfriend's Apple TV account. All right.
It might make, if you're signing in from Mexico, it might send me an email, but I have to send you a code.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you for having me as well. Have a good week. Go for a walk. All right. Go for a walk. Get some sunlight. It's summertime. The best sun ever. So yeah. Have a good week. An active week. I was gonna have a rest day tomorrow because for the first time ever I went for an entire week to the gym, like the entire week, and I'm pretty freaking tired. I'm tired, man. Like I have been busting my ass because I see the good looking chicks and all of that, and I'm like, I had to be way more buff to even like come close to them, I guess. But yeah,
And yeah,
I'm
but
thinking
much more
about
popular.
I'm thinking about joining a religion or something. Like I don't know, man. Like I'm struggling. You know what I mean? I need an arranged marriage. Do I become Islamic or I don't know, dude. Like it's hard out here. They are like a lot of gold diggers and thoughts and
Yeah,
not the
well,
smartest people. And yeah, it's hard out here. 86 IQ is the average here in Mexico. So yeah.
there's a lot of girls with standards in the Mormon church down there.
But let's be honest. Like, are they good looking?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, okay. I give you that. I give you that. I give you that. But I'm already like living the life of a monk. I'm literally like I don't drink, I don't smoke,
It's
I
good.
don't even do weed anymore. Like I haven't
See, you're
been for
halfway
almost.
Mormon already.
Yeah, I just need to like I don't know what you guys do like other than that. Like,
We
what
get
do you guys do?
we don't drink and we don't smoke and we don't do weed, and when we get married, our families are forever even after you die. So that's pretty great.
I like that. I think that there's some like truth like like there's some like metaphysical like explanation for that. I think that is actually truth. Like when I say actually truth is because I don't like religion because a lot of things of religion don't make much sense for me, but because the books were written like centuries ago, so it makes sense that they don't make much sense to the modern mind. But when I read them, I think that they are great philosophy. Like mostly, they are great philosophy. The Bible is one of the best teachers out there. Um, but yeah, I only read it as philosophy. I don't really like. I don't think I don't really think it's the word of God. I think it's the word of a human that was blessed by God, but blessed by God of intelligence, of the capabilities of writing, things that are wise and that can teach us a lot of things, how to behave and all of that. But God, I don't think God speaks English. I don't think God speaks our language at all, and we are so far behind of our own development that we don't know what God says to us. Like I think I don't know, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know about that. Is one of the things that I'm always thinking about that every day, every single day. I think about God,
Mm.
and I think like what is real, what is God, what is all of that things, and so
Well,
I
our
don't know.
our our vision of God is he's a loving heavenly Father. He's literally our Father, and yeah, English probably wasn't his first language, but he loves us and he wants us to be like him. He wants to give us everything that he has, and
Yeah,
so
I think that's
that's
good.
that's why honestly and I people make fun of us all the time, but I love my church. I love the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, partially because yeah, the Bible is fantastic and we have the Book of Mormon too, but we also have a living prophet who talks to God today and gives us relevant advice that applies to our world today.
Cool.
That's a
Like,
lot.
can you send me some of his
Yeah, I
stuff?
did send you. I sent you one. You didn't read it.
Oh, yeah, I don't read.
Well, a lot
Send
of
me a
those are.
video.
There's videos. You can watch videos too. You can watch videos of
Yeah.
him talking.
I don't read. I need someone to read it
I
for
only
me.
read the Hunger Games, not
I
the
only read
Bible.
Twilight, bro. And I used to like it when I was 12 years old.
Look, see, Mark Luck's buying you a Book of Mormon. Okay,
Thank you.
you
No,
can get. Well, Mark, I hate to break it to you, you can get them for free.
Yeah, I was gonna
Ah.
say they're free.
They'll send you one for free, bud. But I'm not giving you the $1.99 back.
bro, the Mormons are the guys that are always with the white shirt and
Yeah.
the tie, and they're walking around in Mexico.
Yeah. If their shirts are colorful, they're Jehovah's Witnesses. If their shirts
Well,
are white,
no,
they're Mormons.
And the big thing's the tag.
there's
They
like
have a
couple of
tag
Mormons
too.
here. Yeah, I've seen them.
Yeah, and they'll always have a black name tag. Those are
Yeah,
the
black.
Mormons.
Yeah, black thing. there was a big Mormon thingy really close to my house, like in Explanada,
Yeah.
Puebla. There was like a big Mormon like
There's-
meeting or something like that.
There's 3 big groups that proselyte in Mexico. So if you see them in white shirts and tags, it's Mormons. If you see them in colorful, like pastel shirts, that's going to be Jehovah's Witnesses.
I hate
And
Jehovah's
and if you
Witnesses.
see them in big long denim skirts, then that's Luz del Mundo.
Ew. Yeah, ew. But yeah, I hate Jehovah's Witnesses. I love Mormons. I had a Mormon friend that did her, her missions or whatever. She was kind of good looking. Like she was not ugly, so maybe.
Listen though,
That is not a
If
good
you
reason.
if you just go and investigate just to get all the hot ladies, it's not going to be worth it though. Next
Yeah, that is not a good reason to like go
Hey,
to the church.
It's not the worst
a bad
reason.
to start.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
It's
not the
like-
best reason, but it's not the worst one either.
Yeah, I'm not going to like bang them. Like want to marry a woman. Like I don't want to like go fool around. I want to marry a good looking woman that, you know, is faithful and loyal and not that not corrupted by TikTok mind. Yeah, but you got me thinking. Maybe I listen to this guy's ramblings. If he's actually making some sense. I don't know why I speak like this. I'm not trying to be blasphemous.
No. It's just funny.
But yeah, if he's making some sense, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
I can go to one of these churches and ask about it.
We always welcome.
There's a
anyone.
lot of
We don't
mosquitoes. Bro. Like,
Turn
what?
anyone away.
Freaking mosquitoes, man. But yeah, thank you guys for the
Yeah, no problem, man.
guidance. All of you guys are Mormons, like you too, Jared?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice. So it's kind of big there in the U.S.
Yeah.
we're just
But
all
it's definitely
we're
a
all
global-
family, so we're
Oh yeah. Oh.
except other Jared. He's just a friend.
Yeah.
He's not family.
Nice. Alrighty. That was a good
See you, man.
conversation.
Have a good week.
Yeah. Thank you.
The
guys.
happy
Bye.
Mexican.
Yeah, man. I like that. I like that change. That's great.
Yeah, it's been. Yeah, I saved my life. God saved my life, and I did it too.
Good.
Bye.
Bye. Did you have anything else to say about House of the Dragon other than it was freaking awesome?
It was good. I mean, man, those dragons are freaking ridiculous. Like
They look so good. They
The one
look so
that's
unique too.
almost as big as Vagar. I'm like, that thing's massive. Like,
Vermithor, I think.
yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing, and I think it's kind of fun to see all these other guys, getting on the dragons. But
Yeah,
like we
I
talked
was-
about before, I think Jace has a valid point.
I was really worried about that scene, the red sowing, or the sowing of the dragon seed, as it's called in the book. Because basically in the book they put out flyers. They're like, hey, come try your hand, try and get yourself a dragon.
Yeah,
You might die, but you might also instantly become a noble and super rich. You
Yeah.
know, if you live through the war, right? And so a lot of people so a dragon never sought out Alan. He just came up. He showed up, and that's all. Like they show up and they try. A bunch of people die, and a bunch of people claim dragons. And we'd already seen that once, right? In the last episode with the Queen's Guard guy
Yeah.
who gets eaten, and then I was like, how are they going to do this? That's not just one guy tries, it gets eaten. Another guy tries and gets eaten. It's going to be a montage. It's going to of the dragon trying on human suits and coming out. You like this one? No, like I don't know how they're going to do this. And so of course the answer is do it all at the same time, which I thought was brilliant. Like probably doesn't like narratively. Well, not narratively, like logically, probably a really stupid choice, You know, if you were doing this in real life, you'd do it one at a time, right? Like it's done in the books. But so much more interesting and so well executed to see on screen. I thought that was a very good choice, in spite of kind of how stupid it was. You're like, yeah, like this is way better to watch.
Yeah, I mean, and not even to mention, you know, like,
and to just streamline it, to make it faster.
They were in lockdown. How did they get out?
They got smuggled out.
Okay,
like it's Rhaenyra's the one that's doing the blockade, so she can get them through.
No. But they were locked in the city because of the king.
Yes. In the gates, but it's a port.
Yeah, but
the city is locked by Rhaenyra, by the sea snake.
No, the city was locked by the king.
Yes, and the sea is blockaded by the sea snake.
Yeah, but isn't there a wall that goes around the whole city?
It's a port. You can most of the people like live. You know, there's different walls.
Maybe, but they didn't leave by the port. They left.
But you literally see they have to fish, right? You have fishermen on the bringing in food, like.
So they all just pretend to be fishermen. I'm just saying there was a little bit of logic there that I was like, okay, I don't know how that.
It might have been difficult to sneak people out.
But I liked how it showed those characters, right? Like you got a little bit more of the backstory behind those characters. You understand, these are characters that are not only struggling, and you know, as you know, common folk underneath the king in King's Landing, but these are also people that are struggling with who they are, their identity, understanding, you know, what their purpose in life is, and so it's like it was cool to see that they start to realize, you know what, I may be more significant than I gave myself credit before.
Yeah.
So that part I really liked. I really liked how they did that. I mean, and yeah, it was a great episode. They performed really well. I also like that you know, there was just a lot of depth to it, which is really what Game of Thrones has always been strong at, is they add a lot of depth, right? Like, for example, even doing this whole showing where everybody goes in and doing it, they have the monks leave, right? So this whole order leaves the queen, and they're like, hey, this is despicable, we're not gonna even help with this, and yet she still does it, right? And so it shows that she is so determined to do this that she is willing to put that religion aside and go ahead and do it anyway.
Yep.
So there's just stuff like that where you're like, you know, I do enjoy seeing that sort of that change, and like you guys were talking about earlier, where Damon kind of got put in his place, and I think he kind of got humbled a little bit, and he's like, you know what, I have to do things differently here, and he has to decide, you know, is he going to be prideful, and is he going to you know, do his own thing, or is he going to fall in line so that he can help get these lords?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, that's what I love about that, because he's literally faced with this decision is like, hey, I commanded this guy to do this crap, and now I've got to basically be the executioner. And
yep, he is out of his element.
Yeah.
And it's really entertaining to see. I don't love that they've done a pretty good job up until now of showing time passing between, you know, people traveling, but they kind of fudged the distances in this episode.
Yeah.
Just the last scene with the dragons flying from Dragonstone.
Yeah.
To King's Landing and then back to Dragonstone.
Really
they're like 300 to 400 miles apart.
Yeah, like
pretty close in regards to all of like Westeros if you look at the map, but still like it's like a couple hours on Dragon. I think maybe it's like 5 hours on Dragonback, is what they've said in the books. So I didn't love that they kind of just teleported between the cities. I think they could have shown that differently. But
Yeah,
like, I get that they
with
want to
that.
end on a teaser of, oh, there's more dragons now.
Well, but that's the thing though. Like you couldn't really even see that many dragons when he decided to finally go.
Yeah, it didn't really show them on the
It
ground.
didn't
But,
show more dragons flying around.
but you do
Half
know
did.
it's dragon, whether they're claimed or not. Dragonstone is going to be full of dragons.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
think he was just turning around once he got like, oh, I didn't catch up in time. But
Yeah,
that last final scene seemed a little unnecessary. I mean, visually it looked awesome, but I don't love that they're fudging the numbers. You know, like you've been pretty consistent, and that was a lot of people's complaints about Game of Thrones is when you started teleporting across the map. And please don't do this a lot. It was fine. It's a nitpick. It did bother me.
yeah, it wasn't huge, but I do agree that it did feel a little too quick at the end. And you know, it could have been that they're just like, oh shoot, we have only a couple minutes left, you know, to really kind of button this episode up, so we can't spend a lot of time doing this.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, I think it kind of implied that Rhaenyra sent him there. Because, like, if it's just the dragon, you know, flying around as he's being claimed and trying to be tamed, he's not going to fly all the way to King's Landing.
Yeah.
He's going to fly around Dragonstone. And that's what I thought he was doing at first, right? It showed him flying, and then it zooms out, and it's King's Landing. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So it implies that she sent him there to, like, goad Aemon, but also, like, why would you give up your biggest surprise? I didn't love it, but looking forward to the finale. So
Yeah.
the rest of the
It'll
episode's
be good.
really
It'll be good. I mean, I think it's been a good story, and I think it's definitely been, you know, deep and
The Queen Who Never Was. That's episode 8.
it's definitely leading up to some big stuff happening. I think this next episode.
Yeah, when I was postulating on how far where they're gonna end season 2, I think they're going to have to rearrange the order of events to get a satisfying finale in episode 8. I think they're gonna. It doesn't seem like they're making like changes, but they're like rearranging chronology of some stuff to make things happen. They also pretty much 100% confirmed in episode 7 that a fan favorite character does not exist in the show.
In the book, the fan favorite book.
Not the fan favorite, but a lot of people like this character from the books, and she's essentially being replaced by the other black sister who's off in the Eyrie right now.
Oh, so is this like who claims a dragon or something like that?
There is another dragon rider who rides Sheep Stealer, and it's she's not going to be a thing anymore. It's going to be Daemon's daughter.
Oh, well, yeah, it definitely is going to be Daemon's daughter. Like, it's for sure going to be her.
Right. And it's not supposed to be. And some people are mad about it. I think they can make it work. Yeah. It should be fine. Probably. I think.
I mean, I think these writers are generally pretty capable, so...
They've made mistakes, but they've also made changes that have surprised me, that how well they've worked. So,
yeah.
Can we get some Otto Hightower back, please? So that'd be nice. He's been gone for like 5 episodes now, and it's not fun.
Is he supposed to be more in the book then?
No, he's supposed to be gone too, but like, he's the best. So.
Oh, he just annoyed the crap out of me. I always hated just because you could see his games he's playing every time. You're just like, it's so obvious what you're doing.
Good, so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been fun. Next week we pretty much just gonna talk about the finale, unless people really want me to go see Borderlands, which I'm just not looking forward to. It looks so bad.
I probably won't see it. But I did watch some Dark Matter. I was gonna try to watch some Silo.
Already started?
Watch it, yeah.
Yeah. I will start Dark Matter. So
Okay. How many episodes are we thinking?
how long is it? I don't know.
I didn't even see it. It's probably. I know Silo's 10. I don't know what the other one is. How
I
much?
don't want to force people to binge 2 shows, so probably like 2 weeks. But unless it's really good and people just want to watch it all, I don't know. I didn't finish watching Outer Range. I completely forgot about that show.
Yeah.
And I was kind of excited about it too. Like it started off real good. I'll get back to it eventually, but like there's zero priority for me to talk or watch or think about that show at all.
Yeah,
Amazon is retarded.
It was definitely interesting. There were a couple, things where you're like, oh wait, what? What's going on? But it wasn't anything where I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta watch this show.
You know what I'm really excited about that we haven't heard, we've just known nothing about, is The Devil's Hour season 2.
I didn't even watch the first one.
You didn't watch it with us?
No.
It's
no.
real
I didn't watch it.
real good. Mark Clark started watching Maverick.
Ooh, 40 minutes.
You're almost there. Oh no, you had to watch a 2-hour movie and not the entire season of The Acolyte. Gosh, I still need to finish. I'm working on the last 2 episodes simultaneously because I'll work on one and just get so tired of it, then I'll skip to episode 8 and work on that one, and then get so tired of it I go back. Like I'm getting them out.
That's funny.
But I just have no motivation to do it. But I need to get it over with before it's too late.
Yeah.
It's already too late, but it's whatever. Anyway, that's it. See you guys next week, right? Anything else? I don't have anything else.
No, I'm good. Good.
Okay. Bye. That's awful.
And now it is time to say goodbye.
We had a great conversation.
It's been fun. But all good things must come to an end, and the goodest ending I can think of is...
Right now, this moment, this night.
So I guess we just say goodbye.
So, goodbye.
Toodaloo. Au revoir. Auf Wiedersehen. Ciao. Ding dao day. But come back next week for more outrageous bloopers.
This is the end.
Well, there's only one thing left to do.
I'm gonna go home and sleep with my wife.
Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. If it's true, please take a minute to subscribe to the channel, and you can join us along for the ride. And if you pay me, I'll try to be more entertaining. So please consider joining Patreon and getting your